Welcome to Awesome Video Game Memories, where we talk about awesome memories about video games. I'm Ryan, and the game we're going to talk about today is Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse. Now, I distinctly remember in my I'm scared of everything horror phase, I saw this at my mom and pop video rental, and I remember the box saying, you can win a free trip to Dracula's hometown. I'm like, Transylvania's real? Is Dracula's castle real? Of course it is, but now it's modern day Romania, and there are actually Dracula's castle tours. Gee, I wonder who won that prize. But of course, after I played Castlevania 2, I went out and rented this game because I was like, I'm brave now, I can play horror games, and I'm happy. Now, Castlevania 3 is actually a prequel to Castlevania 1, where you actually play as Trevor Belmont, although he's called Ralph in Japan. And where I felt that Castlevania 2 lacked challenge, Castlevania 3 brings it back. This is the hardest one out of the NES trilogy. Now, instead of going Zelda 2 Adventure of Link Metroidvania on us like in Castlevania 2, Castlevania 3 goes back to the linear level structure, although you can choose alternate paths. And I remember how awesome it was seeing Trevor Belmont kneeling at that cross, and then he swings his cape back, and then the awesome music beginning plays! Now, our Vampire Killer sounded awesome but spooky in a way, where Bloody Tears sounded epically tragic, beginning is just epic, hardcore Simon Belmont, Trevor Belmont epic, where he's whipping the hordes of Dracula's minions to this badass song. But Trevor Belmont isn't alone in this game, and you actually get 3 helpers. You get Grant Dynasty, Sifa Belnades, and Alucard, which is actually Dracula backwards. I bet you didn't know that. Oh, okay. Actually, I do remember when I read the booklet, I wanted to play as Sifa Belnades most because having a wizard was really cool. Although the problem was Sifa was the hardest one to control, and her magic wasn't very strong. And actually, Grant is actually really fun to play as because he gets to climb the walls, and Alucard turns into a bat, although he consumes hearts. Yeah, so what's cool about this game is you actually get to choose different paths. I remember, I decided I'm gonna choose the Ship of Fools. Fools! But no matter what path you choose, you'll always end up at Dracula's castle at the end. And actually what's cool about this is you get to see, pre-Dracula's castle. It's exactly the same structure as the original Castlevania, but it's not as messed up. This is a couple hundred years before the actual Castlevania, and it shares the same structure. It's really cool. It's like going back to the past. And they play some familiar tunes. Alright, but now I do have a confession to make. I was only able to beat this game with Alucard, because you can turn into a bat and fly, because getting to Dracula is so much harder than actually trying to beat him. The last couple of levels of this game are super freaking hard. Holy shit, I could not get past this with Sifa in any way. I couldn't get past it with Grant. I just had to rely on Alucard and his awesome bat flying ability. And then the final battle with Dracula, his first form isn't that hard, but then he turns into this super monstrous second form with platforms, kind of unlike the first game where he was a bit downgraded, but still, giant bird statue griffin Dracula was pretty tough to beat. And I do admit, I only saw Sifa and Grant's endings on YouTube. I've always just seen Alucard's. But the game does provide a lot of replay value because there's so many paths you can take, and there's 3 different endings. But be warned, Castlevania 3 is definitely the toughest game in the NES trilogy. This game makes the Grim Reaper of the first game look like a baby. But I do believe Castlevania 3 for the NES is definitely the best of the NES trilogy and gives you the best Castlevania experience. Because of the multiple paths, you get to travel through different types of levels, my favorite one being the Ship of Fools. And then there's the Mad Forest. And then seeing old school Dracula's castle before Castlevania was actually really cool too. And I do remember for a long time that this game was very hard to emulate And sadly, this game doesn't work on a lot of flashcards, so you kinda have to buy the real thing, buddy. Well, sadly, you can't play Castlevania 3 on the NES Classic Edition, but you can get it on the various virtual consoles. So that wraps up this episode of awesome video game memories about Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse. And if you have any memories about this game, make sure to leave those in the comments below. Take care.
Hey, you guys should totally go support us over at patreon.com/BattleGeekPlus.
Hey, did you like what you see? Then come check us out at twitch.tv/BattleGeekPlus.